Haibane Renmei felt like a horrifying story at first because it answered the question I've always had about death, that being, if we keep our memories in the afterlife. The series outright says no, for the most part. Alongside the mystery of the Haibane, Rakka appears as someone different from the rest. No matter how much the same people are in the world, there will always be those few who see things differently, and who often make an impact in our history. Rakka became someone who came to question this new life. She saw that the Haibane all came to terms with forgetting who they were in their past lives, that they are fine starting over in this new place, despite that at some point they will once again disappear for good. It was wonderful for her at first. You can see the point where, despite Rakka's sadness in forgetting who she was and who she loved, she finally decided to open up and to try to embrace this new life. Achuku literally pulls her out of her insecurities and into the open. Slowly but surely, Rakka felt that she could find happiness. She finds a home, gets a sense of belonging, and begins adjusting to her life as a Haibane. Despite this, sometimes she looks out into the town at night and wonders if she lived an honest enough life to deserve this. Alongside this, her memories did not completely go away. Still, reality came crashing down once Ku left. In Rakka's case, she witnessed Ku's flight from a distance and learned about this to the point it shattered her. She figured that what is the point of being alive here if she won't remember who she was and is going to go away again to who knows what other world. I saw where Rakka was coming from. I would be frightened because I find value in the memories and people I met. It makes it even worse to know that not even life as a Haibane could feel it mattered if it also leads to a strange place afterwards, where there is more mystery as to what really happens next. Where did we come from, and where are we going to go? Reki is a person who acts differently than how she really feels. Abe wrote her as a way to show the sorrowful ways he used to be before things got better for him. There were many parallels between Rakka and Reki. In the doujins that Abe originally made before the anime, there are more examples to show for this. Reki reminds me of Kusanagi from the Skycrawlers, in that they both know the truths about what their destinies are, hide it from the people, and eventually come to a self-destructive ultimatum. Some of the Haibane, such as Reki, knew what their time of flight meant, maybe as a way to not worry the others. Reki did not tell them about their time of flight or the meaning behind it. Not only that, when the Haibane prepare to take their flight, they do not tell anyone about it. This reminds me of the theory that some dogs hide from their owners shortly before death to spare them grief. Another point about the wings is when Reki explains them. They were not white or black, but charcoal gray. I think it's a good representation of the overall look and structure of the series. That is because there is a lot of mystery, a lot for all sorts of people to come up with interesting interpretations for. Things aren't obvious. Things are not black or white. There is a mysterious vagueness in the middle to a lot in this series. The tallest walls in Haibane Renmei were not the mysterious walls themselves that surrounded them, but the mental walls Reki had to overcome about herself. She was born sin-bound, and her wings were black. What is interesting about this is that which troubles the Haibane that turn their wings black is similar to the mental state of a human. Stress can ruin your body, our organs. Like them, it's about finding our own salvation to return our body to its healthy self. The bond between Rakka and Reki is clearly a precious one. Towards the end, Rakka understood that Reki became the way she did at that point because she needed to be saved. Sometimes a person can so convincingly tell you how they think they really feel, but deep down, we feel it has to be a lie because there are too many contradictions. It didn't make sense to Rakka. And this is because Reki's diary that Rakka found made her understand what the real Reki is like, and what the real Reki really thinks. As a result, Rakka understood what her role would be in her dear friend's life. It is a powerful scene of determination and love where Rakka decides to play the role of the crow that had saved her. She finally saw through Reki's facade. Haibane Renmei was a very personal project for Yoshitoshi Abe. He said the story worked because he picked the right time in his life to write it. It started as a doujin because his creative process was something he felt would not work with the demands of the manga industry. He wanted to tap into his memories and subconscious. As a result, he wrote ideas down on the spot and developed them from there. He didn't intentionally write this to follow any kind of religion, but he did find the story religious itself regardless. This is because he explored the memories of his troubled past and how he came to find clarity. To me, Haibane Renmei is Abe's Angel's Egg. This is because of their religious similarities. The huge difference is that while Angel's Egg felt more like a manifestation of a man's dying face turned into a surreal animated film, Haibane Renmei is more optimistic and hopeful as a story about finding salvation. When it comes to the background art, I appreciate how immersive, expansive, and detailed it is, such as in Textiles, which Abe also worked on. The background art gives you a really good mental picture of the world of Haibane Renmei. You see everything that Rakka sees. Not only that, later on in the series, there was a great deal of effort of showing you the world again as it was covered in snow. This adds to the world building and how the viewers are given an adequate understanding of the average life of a Haibane. I felt a familiarity to the setting because of the background art, and if I were to be there, I would know where to go and also where not to go. I wondered to myself if I'd be fine living in a world like this as a Haibane. There are some aspects of their lives that seem questionable. Humans exist in this world also, though many of them see the Haibane as lucky charms or objects. This bothered Rakka because they were seeing her as less than human. After Ku leaves, you can see Rakka becoming more isolated. The worker in the cafe realized that she was eating more at his business. The Haibane realized she wasn't really eating with them anymore. They also noticed that even after a month, Rakka still could not deal with the loss of Ku. You can see the lack of acceptance and delusion in Rakka. She still tried talking to Ku, and continued to clean Ku's room. She was unable to let go. She was so caught up in this, she was hearing Ku's voice at times. She felt like giving up and wanted to disappear. The limited time she had left to enjoy this new life frightened her because of the unknown that happens after. To continue the parallels, Reki also dealt with the loss of Kuromori. Her own lack of ability to deal with that led to her own troubled youth, almost causing Hyoko to bleed out in the process. It is one thing to start over in a new world as a brand new person, with no recollection of the past. On the other hand, there is something else that bothered Rakka. She seemed to have kept some form of memories about her former life. The tone of the series started to go downhill at this point. Rakka and Reki were in trouble. Still, there was something about these memories that left hope inside of Rakka. Someone overcame this world to reach out to her. Something seemed to feel as if it had defied the impossible. One of my favorite characters is the Crow, though we never really learn who that was. But it felt comforting, with a sense of relief that though Rakka only had vague feelings of the people in her former life who loved her, there was a sort of miracle that took place. Rakka wasn't as alone as she thought at first. Even though she couldn't remember clearly. And even though she felt beyond depressed severely, there was someone out there who called out for her, someone out there who remembered her and pulled her out of her misery, an unknown hero. The viewers don't know who is deserving of praise, but the love of the Crow inspired Rakka to carry the torch. It led to her carrying the same spirit to save another. Haibane Renmei is a bittersweet story, but it warms the heart to see how the characters find resolve and get out of their miserable situations and come to terms with acceptance so that we can finally move on with our lives. I love the things that the Crow stood for, that we should love someone, but to also love them so strongly that it encourages them to do the same for another. We need to clear the smudges on our feathers. Many of us are carrying black wings. I have black wings. I'm in a fight against myself, and I don't know if I can win, but I'm going to try. I don't have a crow, but not all of us need one. They say the stronger the water, the stronger the swimmer. The harder the battle, the stronger the warrior.
思い出して温か